Unify all of Japan by 1458 in an Iron Man game? That's correct, I don't have a social life. For 10,000 likes, we'll do the second part of this campaign where we crush the Ming and expand all over Asia and the New World. And if you want to check my save game, you will find a link in the description to my Patreon page where you have access to this save. Consider subscribing if you also enjoyed the content. It would really encourage me to make more videos like these in the future. The reason I really enjoy playing as Uesugi is because it's really well balanced. Its position is amazing for quickly taking out the eastern countries here and then taking out the west, as such unifying the Japanese islands really early on. The national ideas that it has are pretty great as well from a military perspective. So what we're going to do first, obviously it's going to be a standard estate with the +1 mana privileges, the -25 advisor cost reduction privileges, supremacy over the crown, and patronage of the arts for the extra prestige. We're going to dev up the province of Echigo once, sell the titles, and afterwards you can even do the balance of the 4 divisions to get 1 stability early on, followed by deving up Echigo a second time, Buyashaka, and now we can seize Crownlands, getting only 0.20 autonomy. Now that that's done, we're going to recruit the free company in the province of Kozuke, and if you have a morale of armies advisor, go for that. That's going to help you out so much in the early game. Alternatively, discipline advisor is pretty good also, or even manpower if he's +1. Rival wise, we're going to go for Satake, Utsunomiya, and Takeda as our first 3 rivals. We can also make our starting ruler a general. He should have decent pips because he's actually a Chad lord, and we're going to move our army over to Musashi. 90% of times what happens is the nations of Utsunomiya, Satake, and Chiba ally each other, so you want to attack all 3 of them and co-belligerate all 3 of them. In my case, Satake allied Ando also, but that's not a bad thing. I'm also going to co-belligerate Ando, as that means I can get a foothold in the northern parts. So we're going to attack Satake as the war leader, Sengoku as the Casus Belli, don't go for humiliate rival, and co-belligerate everybody here. Now let's do it. Quick war against everyone. We're going to try and take out Utsunomiya's troops first. We should be able to stack wipe them before they get any reinforcements. Even if they do get reinforcements, not a big deal. We should be able to win these battles quite easily. Daryogo, battle number 1 has been won. Chase down the armies that have been routed so you can actually wipe them out. And 1 stack in Vipen and Shumusa. Let's go ahead and chase the rest of the boys from Utsunomiya. Should be able to catch up to them over here, and that was another stack wipe. Whenever they start recruiting 1,000 units, and that's going to happen quite a little bit, try and intercept them so they don't actually manage to run away from you. You might need to wait until they get movement locked, so don't attack before they actually get movement locked. Remember to always shift consolidate your regiment so you have better consolidated units before you engage in battle. And another stack in Vipen and Shimosuke. It can happen that some of the adjacent daimyos are going to take advantage, so Date over here, for example, attack Utsunomiya also. Make sure if that happens that you're the one that takes charge of the sieges and that you don't let them siege down the provinces before you do. We got the first siege down. That means we can start by annexing these guys fully. Looks like we actually have to wipe out the armies before we annex Utsunomiya. Do they agree to it now? Still no. Okay, fair enough. Let's also wipe out Ando's army here. They're the last of the coalition troops that are still alive. We attacked in mountains, but we should still be okay. We got a Chad lord of a general here, and that's going to be Einstaken Vipen for these boyos now. Booyashakalu! I got a strong suspicion that Nambu's gonna attack Ando also now that they don't have any more troops. Looks like these guys finally agreed to my terms. That's an extra 25 ducats for me. Let's declare on Date. They're allied to Oda, so let's co-belligerate Oda also. Oda, I'm not sure what wars they have, but I don't really care. I'm just interested in Date more than anything else. Come on, let's get some good rolls for Papa, shall we? Religious people. What? Oh god, this event. Seriously, right now. Alright, we won that battle. We're gonna have to chase them down a little bit. I think they're gonna go to Oda's province in Owari. Looks like Chiba's finally willing to give us all of their lands and let us be the ones in charge of Chiba for a while. I also have a bit of a dilemma, and this is what I love about EU4 because every single game is different. I'm having issues getting on this side because I don't have a proper fleet, so what I'm gonna actually do is I'm gonna take the province of Oshima and I'm gonna let Ugo be a part of Ando, but because Ando is actually at war with the nation of Nanbu, Nanbu's gonna annex Ando, and that essentially means I'm still gonna get all of the northern parts after I kill off Nanbu. This is some real 69 head right here, guys. It's some real 69 head, trust me. Because look, see, Nanbu right now is gonna siege down Ugo, take it for themselves, and then I'm gonna take Nanbu for myself. Well, Tokugawa was quite fast in taking this area, And it looks like they're at war with someone, actually. They're at war with Toki. Okay, fair enough. I got a strong suspicion Toki's gonna win that on the count of they got an actual fort, which is something that Tokugawa does not have. This one seems like it took a long time, but that's because we just had 1,000 units stationed here for a very long time without them actually being able to siege it down. But now we finished the first war against Tatake, which means we got another 5,000 units we can use for the next war against Tokugawa. And with all of our troops freed up, we can actually have a proper battle against the nation of Oda. Also, what the hell? Toki just took the capital of Tokugawa? Interesting. Very, very interesting. The battle is going pretty well. We attacked in hills, but not a big deal. We got way more troops than they got. Let's chase them down over to the Oda lands. It feels like a Benny Hill show sometimes, how you have to chase these guys around the entirety of the freaking map. But this should be the end of the enemy troops. I got a 0 roll. Dude, that would have been the end. It's not going to be the end anymore after that bloody 0 roll. Well, still going to be a stack wipe over here though. Booyah dooba-doo. Looks like Imagawa is taking advantage of the weakened Tokugawa and killing them off. That's still not bad because I can attack Imagawa after. Looks to me like Date's back on the menu, boys. And they're gone. They're gone from the menu now. All jokes aside, I'm going to use this chance to declare on Takeda with Nanbu. And I'm gonna wipe out Nambu's army first. Oh, looks like they want to run away. No problem. We can intercept you boys over in Uzun. Should be a fairly easy stack wipe. Good. It could have turned into not a stack wipe if they got a couple of good rolls. And remember how I said before, they're gonna take the province from Ando, and I'm gonna still be able to wipe out and consolidate this area. That is basically thinking ahead for a while. And it works in every single campaign, not just in this particular instance. Plan your steps before, and you're gonna have a great campaign, guys. The AI is actually very predictable. Alrighty, boyos. Now with these guys out, we can actually start concentrating our troops on even more wars at the same time. I love me multiple wars at once. It's literally my favorite thing in the whole wide world, yo. Lower that war exhaustion a little bit too. And I find a really easy war against Tsutsui over here. Their allies are not joining in, which essentially means we can just take their capital easily. They just unsieged it, and that means they got 100 garrison. In 2 ticks, I should probably have this, since if it's below 100 garrison, you automatically take the fort. Even if it's at minus 35 or whatever, it's yours if it's below 100 garrison. Hey, look how we can get Miltech 4 too. So look at this now. It's at 97 after the first tick. So that means after the second tick is finished, we're taking the city, even though it says minus 21. Just look at it go now. Daria go. Let's bring these boys over to the south. We're gonna actually need more troops here because there's 3,000 troops from Takeda and another 2,000 from Tsutsui. We gotta take those guys out, otherwise they're gonna turn into separatists after we annex their countries. This is exactly what I'm talking about. We got Kono separatists that are gonna attack me on this province. Okay, fair enough. Brace yourself, boyos. We got to kill the Konos. Yeah, that was a pretty easy battle. Should be able to get this battle done in that province over there. I think they're gonna get reinforced by these boys or not. We stack wipe them in time. Let's see if we can catch these guys as well in Harima, and that's the end of any sort of separatist problems we might have had. Now we've positioned our boys tactically, 4,000 against Ishiki and the 6,000 against Imagawa. We're gonna attack both of these guys. I'm not gonna co-belligerate Ishiki because that's gonna bring in Hatakeyama, and I don't want Hatakeyama in just yet. I want to have a separate war against them. Should be a couple of easy stack and vipens over here. Dariago, both of them were actually stack and vipens. And I see another very easy target in Toki since their ally is not gonna help them out. So let's attack Toki also. Would be great to get the fort in Mino before the big war against the shogun himself starts. And remember to be flexible with your troop positioning. I'm actually gonna attack these guys in Kyoto in order to prevent them from actually doing any damage to my weaker troops in the province of Mino itself. Eine starken Vipen mo. And we even got a trade for our leader. Pretty good. We can slowly start annexing people now. I'm gonna go ahead and take out Nanbu since it's in the east and the culture is different from the western countries, which means that they're gonna get less aggressive expansion with me from taking these provinces. For that reason, we can also take out Tagera. 164, that's not amazing because we actually need a lot of admin points, but I'll keep them because I kind of also need diplo points for that matter. The problem with Toki is that you actually need 9 regiments to siege it down, since this is both a fort, but it's also a capital fort, so you have a level 3 fort overall in this one province. So we reached the point where we can start annexing these nations one by one. We also have started getting a spy network in Yamana, as we will eventually have to attack them, as well as Hatakeyama, both of which are allied to each other actually, and they have castles. We're gonna start with Tsutsui, which is a one-man alliance set. Booyah Shakalu, bye-bye Tsutsui. Concentratio actually, and core it up. It's gonna be a little bit cheaper to core up if we concentrate that area. The whole Imagawa alliance set has also been annexed, and last but not least, the nation of Toki. So after this, everybody in Japan can actually join in a coalition against us, but here's the upside to all of this. We can also start recruiting more units now, and even if we start the independence war, we should have enough troops to fight everybody off. So let's make them our rivals: Hatakeyama, Yamana, Ouchi, all of these boys. We also managed to get over 20% crownlands in just the first few years. We can get even more than that by seizing another 5%. We have not taken a single loan since the start of this campaign. We've basically been living off of the money that the various nations had when we conquered them, but we can, if we want to, sell titles and get some money whenever we need it. We don't need it right now, so we're not going to do that just yet. This is what I was talking about. We now can recruit another free company, Grand and Independent Company, which are separate, and it means that we basically reset the manpower pool of our free company once we get the new free company. And I know I said I'm going to attack Hatakeyama, but plans have changed, and I'm gonna attack Hosokawa since I see they're only allied to Shoni in a very, very weak alliance set, actually. So I'm gonna position my troops here, and my fleet's ready as well, and let's go with this war first. We've also been building galleys in the background since the start of the campaign. I think right now we have around 8 galleys, which is more than enough to keep the other daimyos at bay. Like I said before, the AI is very, very predictable. What I just noticed is that Hatakeyama just broke off from their siege against Amago. The only reason the AI is ever going to do something like that is when they're getting ready for another war, and that essentially is telling me that they're actually getting ready to attack me. I suspect that's actually going to be the war that Ashikaga is going to declare, and that means I got to get ready for it. So I'm going to recruit the Free Company and the Grand Company, and I'm going to set them up over in Mutsu. I'm going to need some loans for this, so I'm going to get the 1% burger loans for this situation, as they're a lot cheaper than the regular loans. I'm not going to get the independent company just yet. I will get it after the war is over to deal with the rebels. I expect them to declare that war any day now. If they don't declare the war before I can attack them, perfect. That is actually perfect. I'm attacking Hatakeyama and Yamana in a second war, which includes So, actually. That also means I'm going to have to be very careful with my troops not to get trapped on these islands. So let's in fact send our armies back home. And now we can also declare this war. Booyah Shakalu. Once the Emperor declares, it's going to be 3 separate wars, which means I can actually fully annex everybody in the Japanese island. Looks like me attacking Yamana gave a little bit away for Amago to win their war, and they even took 1 province from Yamana, making it a little bit more complicated for me, but it's not a big deal. We're going to deal with that. Awa is down. That means we can actually assault the island of Kyushu now. Hopefully we manage to capture a few of their ships as well, so we get an even bigger fleet. I feel like Ouchi's taking a big advantage out of me attacking Shoni also. Pulling up recruits, you say? 2 war exhaustion, you say? What's my war exhaustion right now? It is 2. Let's lower the war exhaustion in that case. And let's attack these boys over here. We got considerably more troops than they got, so it should be a fairly easy fight. We got a freaking 0 roll. Are you kidding me right now? Bruh. A 0 followed by a 2. Amazing. Alright, well, if the 0 was anything else except the 0, would have been a very fast battle. Let's go ahead and wipe him out here now. Booyah Shakalau. And we're gonna wipe out the other guys in this province. Noise. Tajima's out. That means we can annex Yamana completely now. Or not. We're close to it though. I guess next month they're gonna agree to my terms. Well, would you look at that? Little old Shoni here decided to enlarge in their horizons and made my life a lot easier by taking that 1 capital of Shoni. Noise. These guys are out. Yamana seems to accept my deal too, which means we can now attack Amago right next to Yamana. Sengoku Shidai. Booyah Lukadu. We have to start dealing with the rebels, as the rebels have started popping off around the country. And the reality is that because I've taken out so many of the daimyos and Ashikaga only has 3 daimyos left on their side, it's very unlikely that they're actually going to declare on me. If they do, that's perfect, because it means I don't need to waste 3 stability, which is what I would be wasting if I was to declare my own independence war. So I'm going to give them a little bit of time, see if they actually declare. If they don't, I'm going to have to be the one that declares on them. Let's get another general also. Holy mother of 5 shock and 2 siege. That's because of our army tradition, which is at 69 right now. Echu was also sieged. That means we can peace out Hatakeyama. No, actually not yet, because there's also So in that alliance set, and in order to get So, I need to actually get some transports to get on that island first. I got 4 transports. I'm gonna build one more so I make sure that I don't actually lose the battle when I do attack them. We got our troops here also so we can attack the nation of Kikuchi, and of course the second to last war against Ito and Ouchi. Keep 1,000 units behind to make sure that Kikuchi doesn't recruit any armies. Eine small Stecken Vapenikum over here. No, apparently I got bad rolls again. No, it was a stack wipe, my bad. And that means we can also attack these guys next. Izumo's down so we can fully annex Amago. Come on, baby, we need to win this war for Papa. Ludi over here, who really wants to finish and unify Japan as fast as possible. Alright, that's gonna be an easy stack wipe in Hizen. Arrivederci, troops of Ouchi. Leave some troops to siege that and go to Chizen. Bring the rest of the army over to Ito. Keep on lowering the war exhaustion. This is gonna make it so that you don't get too many rebellions. If your war exhaustion is high, you're gonna get a lot of rebellions. So you want to keep it as close to 0 as possible throughout the early campaign whilst you're unifying Japan. Having a spine network in the countries that you're attacking means you're gonna get some extra siege ability whenever you're sieging their forts. Also, if you have ships that blockade their provinces, you're gonna get a bit of a boost to sieging down as well. So combining the two is gonna be actually vital in any Japan campaign. Ouchie, it hurt me when you sieged that fort down. You get it? Cause Ouchi, ouchie sounds similar. It's funny, okay? It's funny. In my opinion, the worst part about any Japan campaign in which you unify it fast is the rebels. Like, I'm having bigger issues with the rebels than I'm actually having with conquering all of these provinces super fast in the early game. We've outfitted one of our mercenary companies with the greatest general that we have, and hopefully this guy is going to be enough to siege down, well, to kill off the army of So before sieging it down, actually. Looks to me like he is more than enough. Yep, we wiped them out. That means we can start sieging this down. Perfecto. And now the only thing left is to attack the shogun himself. Let's position our troops right next to the shogun's army. Or let's get rid of the rebels first in Ugo. We even managed to get the Miltech 5. So our troops are going to be super ready to attack the shogun's troops. Tsushima was also sieged down, so that means we can piece these guys and Hatakeyama out also. If only I could click on that province of So. It's really annoying because it's so small. You cannot even click on it. Booyah shakalaka-dee. Nice. Look at this, guys. 1457. We got the entirety of the Japanese islands except the shogunate itself. We've positioned our troops next to their army, also next to their capital, and next to their ally Ainu, because they're actually allied to Ainu, and we're gonna take out both of these nations at the same time. It is gonna cost us 3 stability, but it's worth it because essentially we stop being a daimyo and we become the new and improved version of Japan. Also means we can upgrade our government type to a grand daimyo apparently. This army is essentially gonna melt away because we have the better pips, and they are still stuck with military tech 4, which is pretty poo-poo considering. And would you look at that, we also became a great puer. Leave these guys over here and send the other army to kill off the Ainu army. We can also set up our trade now, start collecting in this province. Noise, no more Ainu people. Gonna use our fleet to chase down their fleet also, maybe get some few ships from capturing. I only had 12 ships, but I ended up with 16. Excellent minister. 100 military points. I actually need the government reform and the admin points right now though. Under other circumstances, I would have gone for the military points to be fair. Kyoto's down, but we have to wait until the Ainu lands are down as well. I'm gonna assign the general that was in Kyoto, which has 2 siege pips, to siege this down a lot faster. And there you go. We actually sieged it before I even got there. Perfect. That means we can annex these guys completely. 1 for the money and 2 for the show. Is that how it goes? 2 for the show? I think it's how it goes, isn't it, guys? Government reform abolished. We are now an independent daimyo. We have prevailed, which means we get all the daimyos under us and we become a shogunate ourselves with these special shogunate mechanics. We can also do win political supremacy that gives us a little bit more prestige, and we can get our first rival, which will also be our first conquest, and we can even click and unify Japan if we want to. So After you unify Japan, you're gonna have to do a couple of things. First and foremost, you have to lower the autonomy in every single province that you have, because once countries have conquered provinces, they increase the autonomy, so your autonomy overall is gonna be pretty high, and you want it as low as possible. So for the next 5 to 10 years, we're literally gonna do one thing and one thing alone. We're gonna wait for our autonomy to go down. We're also gonna assign the edict centralized effort, which essentially lowers the autonomy a little bit faster in all provinces that we got. And it's really vital that you do the next step, attach the free company to the grand company, and then assign the grand company to autonomously suppress the rebels in your country. Split your country up in two. One army manages the rebels in the east, and a second army manages the rebels in the west, as you will have a ton of rebels, especially after you've lowered the autonomy in provinces, which increases the chance of you getting rebellions. If you need to, you can always hire the independent army, which should still be around if you did everything according to the plan. Or if you're really struggling, another option is to recruit 5 generals and then slacken recruitment, because every time you recruit a general, you get 1 army professionalism, and once you have 5 army professionalism, you can slacken once, getting manpower for your main armies. You can also start building some light ships at this point, so you can start actually funneling some of the trade into the Nippon area. If you guys want to see the second part where we centralize the Japanese islands and we expand in the northern parts of Manchu, we kill off the nation of Ming by lowering the mandate and attacking them, and establish our own foothold in the Ming lands, as well as we're also going to be going into the New World and spawn colonialism in our country rather than in Europe. 10,000 likes and we'll do that second part, and you can find this save game on my Patreon page, so check the link for that in the description. Also guys, I'm trying to get to 115,000 subs in order to get my waifu to play some EU4, and if we get that, she's going to play as the nation where we actually live right now, which is again somewhere in Japan. So if you're interested in that, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And I want to give a very big thank you to all of my channel members, Patreon members, as well as my Twitch supporters. I really wouldn't be able to do this without all of your support. You guys are absolutely amazing.